Okay. First of all, thank you both. Oh my God, what a finale. I want to start off with you, Sascha. What is the importance, especially as a writer, what is the importance of a cliffhanger?
I mean, look, a cliffhanger, I think, is something that keeps the viewers engaged on the edge of their seats and involved with the story you're telling, right? You want
Mhm.
people to be guessing, you want people to be speculating, you want people to be wondering, because if they're doing that, they're talking. And if they're talking, they're thinking. And if they're thinking, that's great for you as a showrunner, as someone who does what Patina and I do for a living, which is tell stories. So cliffhangers, I think, when used well, can really sort of engage the audience in unexpected and exciting ways. You know, when they don't feel earned, I think they can actually do the exact opposite of that, which is people kind of turn off and they're like, I didn't. I feel like this cliffhanger is exceptionally earned, so I'm excited to hear what people have to say.
It was earned. I screamed. I screamed so loud. So for you, Miss Bettina, what I wanted to know is what does it mean to have your family back, but to lose your son and possibly your niece?
I think it's a hurtful thing, Raquel. I mean, the first season was all about family, right? And how much they wanted to be a union. And then you watch them over the course of the different season, the family looks different. And so for the fourth and final season, Rock has found herself alone again. Of course, Kanan was always a thing that she was always trying to reach out to, trying to get back in her life. Jukebox was something that was just a given. Jukebox was the person that Rock always thought would be there, who's always been there. And so to now have that not the case anymore, it's a tricky spot. It's very uncomfortable for her. Quite different. We haven't seen this. And so to watch those two female who have been sort of in alignment, or you would think that Raquel thought they were in alignment all this time, to finally have there be a crack in that relationship is a lot for her. I think she is, like I was saying before, she is on her own island and it's not comfortable. She could deal with all of the threat of everything around her, but to have it be so her family and it's internal, that rift, that's a lot for her. And I don't think she ever could have expected quite how it would end for her in this cliffhanger, but this is power.
But she's alive and well, still in my heart. I don't care what happens. She's alive, darn it. So, first, Sascha, thank you for Breeze. We have waited. You teased him for 3 years. We finally got Breeze. What I wanted to know is going back with the OG power, was the goal to always answer questions that the fans was always wondering, such as Breeze was never a character on screen. We never knew why Jukebox turned the way she did on Kanan, why he was so fearful of her. So was that initially the goal, and will those answers be answered? Will questions be answered? Sorry.
I mean, the question about Kanan and Jukebox will absolutely be answered.
Mm-hmm.
And people may not love the answer because it's a tough answer, but it will be answered. And I think it'll be answered in a way that's really, really satisfying. And will leave no room for doubt nor question about how they ended up the way they ended up. Um, in terms of Breeze, Dana, that was always the toughest mountain to climb in a way because that character exists in so many people's imaginations. And so that was always going to be like a real challenge for us in terms of everything from the casting to the writing but it was always very important to me and to I think this series that we meet Breeze, we understand Breeze, because he's just a character that the Power fans have always longed to understand and experience. So, he was always going to be a part of the series, and I feel like, people will be very, very satisfied with the story we tell.
Right. And then lastly, for Patina, I'm still saying that she's alive. She has essentially lost everything in terms of her business and her partnerships. What I wanted to know from the tools of which we have seen in previous seasons, how do you feel she will be able to tackle kind of literally starting again at zero?
I think the great thing about Raquel is that you've watched her over the season start from zero. a lot. She is not a person who stays down. And so even just this season, instead of wallowing in whatever Neek being back, she's still continuously, even though she's being hit on all sides, she's trying to figure out how to get back on top. She's not a quitter. She's not someone who gives up. And that's what I have loved playing with this character, is that fighter spirit in her. And she just tries to persevere through all of the things. And so, yeah, I think that answers it. I can't tell you about season 5. I can just tell you about this season. And that was one of the things that what I loved about Raquel, is not having Kanan, not having, the family dynamic the way in which she would want to, but she is continuing to try to be quick on her feet and figure out a way to be back on top.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you both so much for speaking to me. Extremely wonderful finale, as always. So thank you.
Dana, thank you so much. Good seeing you.
You too.